Good morning, everyone. Rich and Kathie here. And today we have to clean up after the landscapers clean up. We have a party today for Christina, and our house is going up for sale in 2 weeks, and we've been really busy going back and forth, getting everything done. So as hard of a decision as it was, we decided to hire some landscapers to come in and spruce up our yard for us. We wanted them to do some trimming and some cleanup work. Nothing major, just get rid of some weeds, make the garden beds look nice, trim our hedges. We have some tremendous hedges on the side, and we paid a lot of money for it. But what we ended up getting was a chop job and a partial cleanup. And we hired a man to do some painting for us. Richie and I are usually so careful about how we spend our money, and it was a really hard decision to let somebody else do what we know we can do ourselves if we just had the time. And this is a perfect example of why we usually do everything DIY. The painter was hired to paint the lower part of this side of the house, the lower part of the other side of the house, the back of the garage, and strip wallpaper and paint the hallway. And he said that he gets $600 a day, and this job would take him 4 days to complete. And we asked him, alone? And he said, no, not alone. He brings people with him. Well, the days that he has been here, he's brought one person. He's been here 2 days so far. Well, Rich and I learned a big lesson about what a day means, because we assumed a day of work is 8 hours. Well, it turns out that that's not what that means. So the first day they came, they stripped the wallpaper off the basement, stair walls, and they primed it. And they power washed the side of the garage. And when they power washed the side of the garage, they literally blew all the paint chips into our neighbor's yard, which then had to be cleaned up. And that took about a little over an hour, maybe an hour and a half, to go clean up. So part of their day's work was cleaning up the mess that they made in the neighbor's yard, which Richie went and helped with that as well. And they only worked about 6 hours that day. So when I said, you're leaving for the day, he said, oh, you didn't hire me by the day. But he wanted $600. So, lesson learned, he told me that he never said his day was 8 hours long. And he didn't. He's right. We just made the assumption that a day's work is 8 hours. So that was our first mistake, because they've now been here for 2 full days that are not full, but they're getting paid full days. And the job, if they had worked 8 hours, could have definitely been done in 3 days, because Richie and I painted the rest of the house, and we know how long that takes. So the second day they came, they painted the full basement hallway, and they painted the side of the garage. They still have all the trim to do in the hall, and they still have scraping and painting to do on the 2 sides of the house. But all the scraping and, prep work could have been done already with the amount of time that they were not here as part of an 8-hour day. So that's a big lesson learned, right, Rich?
Yeah.
It pisses us off.
The problem is, I'm hiring these guys to work, and I gotta keep a really close eye on them and basically work with them and show them how to do it. We didn't pick the best. There's an old saying, it's hard to get good help. It's really hard.
Tell them what happened with the thing. We asked them to tape off the windows and screens.
Right, because we got new windows and screens. So basically, you pull this, you tape it off, and then you pull the plastic down like a curtain, and it's really easy to tape your window off. I showed him this. He didn't know what this was.
He didn't even plan on taping the windows off, which scares us because they're brand new. We just had those windows installed.
Nothing looks worse than white paint on a black screen.
Right. Richie came home from work in the middle of the day today to check on them, because we let them come and work while we're not here because we have to work. And we had left them some semi-gloss paint for the trim, because we're providing the materials. What did he do with the semi-gloss?
He used the semi-gloss paint for the ceiling.
So.
And I was like, why?
Who paints their ceiling with semi-gloss? Nobody. all ceiling paint is flat, and he should have known that. We bought him flat white paint.
You know, they tell you, yeah, we know, we'll do this, we'll do that, oh yes, we'll take care of it, they yes you to death, but man, when it comes to seeing their actual work...
And for the amount of money we're paying, it's killing us.
Paying top dollar.
That's what it feels like. So now we have to find out, hopefully if they come back tomorrow, if it doesn't rain, we're really hoping that they do the prep work on the side of the house right, and that they caulk like the holes and the things that need to be caulked, because that's what we're paying for. That's, if we didn't care, we would just slap a coat of paint on it. So we're expecting them to do a good job.
I did this window. I want all the windows to look like this. Caulked, painted, no gaps. Everything is pretty straight.
No paint on the screen.
Yeah.
It looks good.
I want to see.
We worked hard. So now, that's the painters.
Yeah.
Today, we hired some landscapers to come in. Well, let's take a little walk and see what they did. They didn't do anything here at all. So here's this garden bed. They completely cut down my lilac bush that was in the corner.
The only thing you wanted to save.
And I did. I told them I want that lilac bush saved. They cut down Montauk daisies, but then they left a milkweed plant here. Like, they had absolutely no common sense on what was worth keeping and what wasn't worth keeping. And look at this, honey. They cut the rose bushes and they left all the clippings.
They didn't take any clippings.
They didn't take the clippings. They only took half of the clippings. They literally, I feel like the yard was annihilated.
This was a nice round sort of oval. It just needed a light trimming to shape it up. Now they got a crooked rectangle.
It was about 3 feet higher than this. It was absolutely beautiful.
See this plant?
I don't know what possessed them to chop it like that.
This little plant was growing here nice. You know, it was ready to bloom. It looks like it was a little nice little plant.
It's a beautiful fall plant.
And they just stepped all over it.
Destroyed it. They chopped down my snowball bush over there.
Pick up all the clippings.
No, we have to now rake the whole yard. There's just clippings everywhere. It's just unfathomable. Unfathomable. They're supposed to be landscapers. It's a professional landscaping company. The only thing they're capable of doing, I guess, is mowing grass. And then what did he tell you? He trimmed what? He did
extra.
He did, because what did he do? He went around with
He went around the brick and he pulled some weeds and stuff that was growing between the bricks.
Which we didn't want him to do because we had no problem doing that ourselves. I don't know what he did over here. He didn't even know how to trim. But
he left stuff like this.
The rhododendron, and he left that. Yeah, this grass, he may as well just have cut the whole thing down because it's destroyed. I mean, no common sense as to what was supposed to be kept, what was supposed to be cut, or how to cut it to look nice. That's not even cut straight.
Nothing straight about it.
The only thing that they did do that I'm really happy about is those hedges.
Yeah,
those hedges are just a nightmare, and we pay for somebody to do those every year. So these hedges are something that Rich and I stopped doing a few years ago because they're like 15 feet high. Maybe they're like 10 feet high now. But they were really high, and they do need to be trimmed every year. And we always hire someone, and this year our guy wasn't available. So we hired this new group, and they left the clippings. Look here. These are all clippings that should have been raked and cleaned up. All clippings. All of that is clippings. They did like a half-ass job. They even trimmed all the flowers off my Rosa Sharon here.
Did they really?
Yeah, except for the one that you stopped them on. My crepe myrtle was beautiful the way it falls. I don't even think they understand the way a crepe myrtle's supposed to be. Crepe myrtles are beautiful and they have like a drape to them. They cut the drape off. They completely cut the drape off like it wasn't supposed to be there. It was absolutely gorgeous, and it's gone. It's baffling, totally baffling. So, needless to say, we're $700 poorer, and we still have to come out here and
spend a day.
At least a day, if not longer. All right, so we're nowhere near done, but we've managed in 3 hours to make it less embarrassing. This is what we clipped and picked up off the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 bags here, and this big pail up front filled. A lot of work. We're exhausted. We can't do any more today, but at least it looks better for the party. I'll just walk around and show you what we quickly did. This garden bed, you could see what a big difference it is, cleaned out and raked. Still looks a little chopped. There wasn't anything we could do about that because of the way they cut things. But what we did was we cleaned it up a little bit better, made it look a little bit more presentable. That grass that they cut really weird and left all the clippings on, there was nothing we could do with it. We tried to tie it up, so we just decided to cut it down. We did a little bit more trimming here, but we still have more to trim. Again, we'll do that another day. It's good enough for the party today. We trimmed a little bit here and cleaned it up. We raked out and trimmed over here. Again, a few things still need to be cut. Cleaned out this area so we can get to the pool filter. We raked this all out, and it's not perfect, but it's better. And this is the big deal. This is the entrance gate in. We got rid of everything that was over here this morning. We still have more to do. We just don't have any energy left, and we've got so much more to get ready for the party. It's our last party at this house. Hopefully it sells after this. So we have to make it a good day. And we learned a lesson. What was our lesson that we learned?
If you want anything done right, do it yourself.
Absolutely. And if you have to hire somebody, you gotta be home to watch everything they do. And that is something we just learned for when we build our house upstate next year. We need to make sure that we are there every second watching everything they do. Have a great day, everyone. Yes, we are. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christina. Happy birthday to you. Happy 30th birthday, sweetheart.
Thank you so much, Mama. Love you too.